In this video, we'll cover the technique for SLP-031. Determination of trematoid egg count in bovine feces at the Agri Diagnostics laboratory. 1. Introduction and principle. The method described here is based on Royal Veterinary College, University of London, Guide to Veterinary Diagnostics Parasitology, Fecal Sedimentation. The sedimentation technique is a qualitative method for detecting trematoid eggs in feces. The majority of trematoid eggs are too large and heavy to float reliably in flotation fluids, normally used for nematoid eggs. They do, however, sink rapidly to the bottom of a fecal water suspension. And this is the basis of the fecal sedimentation technique. 2. Equipment list. 3. Procedure to produce a composite sample for testing in beeps. Firstly, weigh 3 grams of feces from each individual animal in a plastic container 1. Pool all the samples into a suitable large container and mix thoroughly to form a composite sample. For example, if samples were submitted from 10 individual animals, you should now have a 30-gram composite sample. 4. Procedure to count the number of eggs in the composite sample. Label all containers with sample work number. Weigh or measure approximately 3 grams of composite feces sample into a plastic container 1. Pour 40 to 50 ml of tap water into container 1. Mix the feces and the water thoroughly. Filter the suspension through a tea strainer or double layer of cheesecloth into a glass beaker. Pour the filtered material into a screw cap tube up to the 20 ml mark. Centrifuge at 1000 RPM for 3 minutes, or allow to sediment for 30 minutes. Remove the supernatant with a pipette very carefully. Resuspend the sediment in 10 to 15 ml of water. Allow to sediment for 5 to 10 minutes. Discard the supernatant carefully. Stain the sediment by adding 3 to 4 drops of methylene blue or malachite green. The dyes stain fecal particles deep blue or green, leaving trematoid eggs unstained. Transfer a small drop of the stained sediment to a microscope slide using a pipette. Cover droplet with a cover slip. Examine under a microscope at 10 by 10 magnification. Examine at least 2 drops of stained sediment to determine presence or absence of fluke eggs in a sample. Warning: nematoid eggs may be present in the fecal sample, but the recovery with this technique is very low. Nematoid eggs should be examined using modified McMaster technique instead. Here are some examples of eggs found in the sediment.